Did you say, quote, racist white Southerners, close quote, and, quote, hostile white voters and governmental officials in Louisiana continue to make local polling places and early voting locations threatening spaces for black voters? Did you say that?
She helped write a report calling Southern white voters racist, then sat in front of Senator Kennedy and pretended she didn't know what was in it. Watch him make her squirm for every single word.
You were involved in a 2021 report from the Southern Poverty Law Center about voting in Louisiana. Did you say, quote, racist white Southerners, close quote, and, quote, hostile white voters and governmental officials in Louisiana continue to make local polling places and early voting locations threatening spaces for black voters? Did you say that?
Senator, I do not believe that I said that. I haven't read that publication in some time.
Will you help write it?
I helped to draft the publication and approved it, but I'm not familiar with that
Oh,
language.
you don't? Okay. In that same report, did you say, well, tell me where in Louisiana local polling places and early voting locations are threatening African-American voters? You said it, so which polling places?
So again, Senator, obviously I don't have that report in front of me to be able to read and remind myself of the examples that might have been shared. But what I can say is that Louisiana...
Let me cut you off because I'm going to run out of time, Counselor. Let me ask you one more. In August 2021, we're not talking 20 years ago, we're talking 2021, you were involved in another report by the SPLC. And you said that voter identification, photo ID to vote, is burdensome and does not serve any legitimate state interest. Do you really believe that?
Senator, identification for voting is
Yes,
something...
but first, do you really believe that? You said it. You meant it?
The Supreme Court in Crawford v. Marion County has already upheld voter ID laws as per se
Yeah, but you said it
constitutional.
didn't serve any legitimate state interest. Do you believe that?
Again, Senator, without that language in front of me, it's hard to understand
You
the
said
context.
it. Here it is, August 2021.
Well, there are
I'm
cases...
just asking you to explain to me why having to prove you are who you say you are before you vote doesn't serve, you said it doesn't serve any legitimate state interest. I'm just asking you to explain that statement to me.
I understand, Senator Kennedy, and again, without being able to see the language that appears before and after, it's hard for the context.
You deny that you said it?
I can't say that I haven't seen that language in front of me, but what I do know is that there have been voter ID cases in which courts have found
But
that
I know, I'm familiar with the case law, but I'm asking what you think, because you may be on the 11th Circuit. Do you believe that voter ID is inappropriate?
my commitment is to uphold the Supreme Court's decision in Crawford v. Marion
I know, but
County.
here you said it was inappropriate. You deny that?
Well, again,
Saying it?
Senator, it would be helpful to know if that section of the report also cites to cases in which federal courts have found that certain voter ID laws do pose an burden on voters.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Senator Booker?
I'm going to yield to Senator Whitehouse, who's more seniority.
Senator Whitehouse more senior than Senator Booker.
And more hair.
Now, that's no reason to yield.
That's a big group, Senator Booker.
Let's test them in the 40, though, and see who wins.
It's kind of a clean sweep of the committee, so to speak.
Let's be crystal clear about what just happened in that hearing room. Senator John Kennedy sat across from a woman being considered for a lifetime appointment to the 11th Circuit, one of the most powerful courts in the country, and exposed her for exactly what she is, An ideological activist who weaponized the language of racial grievance, put her name on it, and then had the audacity to play dumb when asked to own it under oath. She helped draft a Southern Poverty Law Center report, not some obscure student paper, a published SPLC report that called white Southerners racist, accused Louisiana polling places of being threatening spaces for black voters, and declared that voter ID laws serve no legitimate state interest. No legitimate state interest. In 2021, not 1965. 2021, and when Kennedy asked her to name a single polling place in Louisiana that is threatening to black voters, silence, deflection. I don't have the report in front of me. You wrote it. You approved it. You don't get to hide behind a paperwork excuse. The voter ID dodge was equally embarrassing. The Supreme Court already settled this in Crawford v. Marion County. Voter ID laws are constitutional, full stop. But this nominee went further than just disagreeing with a policy. She declared it serves no legitimate state interest, meaning, in her legal worldview, asking someone to prove they are who they say they are before casting a ballot is not just inconvenient, it's illegitimate. That's not a legal opinion. That's activism dressed in a robe, and here's what makes Kennedy's line of questioning so effective. He wasn't grandstanding. He wasn't ranting. He was calm, precise, and relentless. He had the receipts. He read her own words back to her twice and watched her refuse to either defend them or disavow them. That's not a confirmation hearing. That's a witness pleading the fifth on their own resume. The American people deserve judges who apply the law, not lawyers who spent years labeling their fellow citizens as racists and then want a lifetime seat on the federal bench to act on those beliefs. Kennedy saw through it. The question is whether the rest of the Senate will.